This video should be prefaced first. That is a fact. This attempted video took 1,000 different takes, mostly not usable, but they were necessary. They were necessary in the compiling this short time list of something trying to make it workable to have a good message. A message that I'm going to send to Gaius. And I want Gaius, if he would, and he allows himself, to honestly share it with his brother because I'm trying to continue some connections. Now, I could be wrong because my phone has been the reason I don't need to comb my hair for this video. And fuck you, Snapchat, everything in there. Seriously, that app has reduced my phone's battery all the way down. We're going to steal from you. You're going to be robbed. So, children telling me that, I know it's the app, and I know that it would be done to me directed by the app. That's a known fact. There was some hope in discovery of genuine humanity, but of course I can count only the couple of people I know in there that are actual humans. The rest, I wonder if we're already dealing with Chat GPT deployed upon us. And I don't know. I don't know the answers. If I knew the answers, I wouldn't be playing this game. It provides me not even peanuts for my correct response. So this is a me looking at my own psychology and presenting it to my children. But why? Why would you do that? There's not been much more clarity than how to go about this process. My dad was essentially fame. He was a glimmer of fame in this weird place that I believe to be my home. Now I will need to do a little fight to maintain the rights to get to that position, and I'm not yet there, but I'm on my way. But the first order of business is sorting all of this out. It's very difficult. There'd been a few times where I was just paralyzed with agony, and the emotions flew out of me. I cried, and look, I'm not saying that in some weird ass way. I'm saying the tears are necessary components to alchemy. Alchemy is the most important thing you can ever be doing with yourself. I don't care who you are, what your job is. If you're a human experiencing the limitations of humanity, then you are also like me. But you're God. You are God. You just got in this form. Now, God in this form has taken to choose this form for the benefits that come with having this predicament. Now, at what point do we actually have the epiphany? I don't know. I've had many somewhat epiphanies this whole time, but I've made some very interesting discoveries. The ones that move my soul the most are when I began to compile myself a selection of all these pictures, and you just crop your family life, my family life that occurred during those times. Yes, I crop it in with these memory pictures, and in the great spirit of now, it should have been before. Well, some of that I was fucked on, and I'm not fucked up emotionally by saying that. If I were fucked up emotionally by saying it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I'm having this conversation because it's about now. Now is where I live. Now is where my children are. And I don't know. And I don't really know because it's my duty. And I'm going to keep on keeping on at it, just plugging away. Though I'm going to send these videos and I'm going to make these videos. Now, all my videos are not directed towards this specific purpose, but when they are, they should sharpen. They should get a little better. And that's my intent. And if I mention things, and I don't want there to be any resistance. I don't know exactly why or if I'm even correct because my phone's been hijacked. I literally have 9 battery. Most of this day the battery was at 1. I've never had I've never had it do what it's done recently. There's some playing with the shit is going on. Now I could uninstall the Snapchat right now. Maybe I should. I don't see myself using any of those things. Why don't you do that now? I think I'll do that now. And this is my preface, but this is me formulating a response on what to do with these things. The emotions you have are the most important things that you can muster as a human. Because when you apply your emotions to something that you care about, something that's important, or something that even someone else cares about that's important to them, you can really do some real good. The alternative is being reactive and just acting a fool. And of course, we don't live in a place where we don't have that choice. That is an illusion afforded to someone else. We can look at things, we can make choices. There's nothing wrong with making choices about things that are better choices to make. Always make the better choice. The point I would like to stress is there's no necessity, there's no precondition to exclude your father. Your father doesn't have to be the best father. I'm aware of that. Um, this is the psychology, though, of men and women parenting. And let me briefly collapse it into something real simple. So, in society as we have that we live in, when men and women are trying to raise up their children, normally there's a push from the dad and there's a counter push from the mom. No, I don't want him doing that, or I don't want him this and that. You technically, or what they say, after about 5 good pushbacks from mom,
But the children, they
after a
said.
father has been derailed from having any sort of life with his children, any thread of communication, it's pretty much universally considered to be dead, because it's in the father's societal interest to just continue to be provider. And whether or not you may know this, but I have continued to be provider because the job I was doing for my dad took exactly as much from me that I made, and it sent it to your mom, who sounds like she's doing very good, and I'm happy for her. And I wanted her to point me along that direction. And that was really the last message I got from her. Maybe I asked her at the wrong time. I don't know. I love your mom. She's important to me. Your mom is very important to my spiritual growth. She will always be, but it doesn't represent anything healthy if we're having to hide from each other or we don't find any uh, actual use being found in healing and communicating. Your mom doesn't have to like me, but she does love me. And I love her too. But we're people who love each other that we don't have a functioning we didn't we didn't do something that we still need to do. That's my point of view. I'm trying to make this as maybe something to change things. I'm sorting through my dad's memories, incredibly damaging, but it's also got this very wonderful um, feeling that accompanies it. The feeling has an opportunity. The opportunity is that, hey man, these are pictures of you too. These are slices of your life too. You're there. I can see you. So, you know, feel free to re-interact. But I'm putting this forward, and I think I will even share this with my friend the lawyer. My friend the lawyer. I'll just say it like that because no, not to confuse and be weird or rude, but in the line of work that he's in, I think it ought to uh, be some sort of accounting for someone tries to turn their situation into gold, for lack of a better term. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the most useful way to deal with this emotional baggage shit, which is my current standing as being unable to stand. Just someone I didn't have a number. I had no number. What was I supposed to do? Am I going to call the CPS? No, I'm not going to do none of that. At some point, you know, but I'm sort of upset. And I was told in the way that you're telling someone that's going to upset them, hey, I'm married. when you get that response from the woman that's your wife, as far as you know, and no one's blindsided me or nothing like that. I'm not a victim. I don't need to be a victim. You don't have to be a victim. You can deal with your circumstances as they are. And they're fucked up. But I'm not coming from the place of weakness. I've got ideas. My mind's clearly working on the problem, so I'm putting it forward because I love you. I'm going to give you insight because you're my son, and I've been thinking of you a lot, and I'd like to continue growing. And who am I? Well, I'm not your dad in the same way, obviously. What I've learned about that guy, though, is he's really damn good at putting together things that are not visible to people that would immediately want to know how actual palpable it's. Let's just say this: there doesn't have to be any allegiance to what is by me. Now I'm leaning on what my soul can use to try to do the breath in the Merkaba that we're supposed to direct this love towards the earth. This is the actual maneuvering. This is maneuvering. They're numbered breaths in a Merkaba meditation that, if you do look, everything is there. There's no lie to that. There is no fucking lie to that. It's actually so profound. So, what I'm doing, or have been doing, because I've been cleaning the upper part of my closet of my dad, which is the current office where some part of my psyche actually had to be transferred and did transfer, and then now is doing something because, maybe it's me, maybe it's just Maybelline. Well, when you are simply just aware that at some point in time everything's going to be there that is necessary for the full coming to life. Yes. Don't feel weird for being like the loose extensory module. Just feel meaty when you're doing it. So I'm actually getting up here. Let's get up here and be real visceral. Do you have a reason to do it? Because I meant to talk like this when I did. Oh, that's incredible. I thought it would be classy. Providing motor. I have to put my face on this, my fuzzy, disheveled head. If you wonder, and let me clear it up, I practiced and have been practicing and do practice now. It's falling out of practice because there was a point to doing self talk. I would self talk mostly is something I could do. I could gauge my dad where he was at, if he was listening, if he was paying any attention, if he was totally dismissing me, whatever the fuck was going on. I could use it as a barometer in my day to day life with him. So I continued it out. And some interesting facts one can find out about your alter ego that you just call Snickle Fritz Jones because you put a top hat on him and give him all your magical tools and such. That shit works. Now, I don't know what your dad's actual um, metaphysical situation setup is, but in some ways, it could be said that this guy's got all some weird psychic power shit, and I'm aware of it. I've been aware of it most of my life. It concerns me that that could be something that maybe in some way could be used wrong. I don't want to use it wrong. I want to make the optimal use of it in the right context. Doing that, I found interesting things. Interesting thing number one: if you ask your subconscious mind, which I just say, "Hey, Snickle Fritz." Now, I happen to be watching some Deep Space Nine. It's a nerdy ass show old boomers like me watch about sciencey go to space shit. Now, there's a character in there, the captain's dad, in the instance. is Cisco's dad. He's an old black dude. He's a cook in New Orleans. He's badass. But the question to me was, I wondered if he was still alive. Now there was a simple way called Google to find out, but I didn't ask Google. I asked Nickel Fritz Jones. This is what Nickel Fritz Jones told me at that exact time: that the individual, the body complex known to be Cisco's dad, has been on the side where we exist for 15 years. And do you know that when I looked that fact up, it was exactly 15 years? So not only does this part of the mind, albeit externalized and dialogued with, the dialogue has an awareness of the entirety of knowledge being in somewhat contained. Because if I know, Snicklefritz knows. And if there's details, and there's always details, then those details are not lost. They're all accessible to you. And how do you do it? Begin dialoguing with yourself. Just ask yourself some questions and let yourself answer them. See where it goes. Maybe you're good at it. Maybe you can turn it into comedy. Who the fuck knows? You're a different person. There's all kinds of different. You have way much more power than me, but you should at least know some of the structures and forms in which this one takes. Dad, the donor, father. Get your motor boated. Sometimes I do pretense a little more than I even want to, being creepy like I'll murder you, motherfucker. But let me be completely honest, more with a hell of a lot less of even the playing it around. I'm really trying to see the truth that I do see it, though, where it's worth it to move along these lines. Now, Hero Dad, I'm going to give you that. You got my son who you didn't have anything to do with, and Hero Dad. Fuck yeah. Now, I'm not going to so easily deny that the next order of business is demonization of actual father. Yeah, that's what's next in the series. Of course, you could understand that I'm trying to bypass that now, because maybe we're missing some real connectivity tissues. In the instance where you had, let's just say, if I had met your old lady and she became your current, or my, whatever's the situation's reversed, that there's some kids here with me and they've got a dad and they're not talking to him on the phone. They don't fucking call him on the phone and want to talk to him. I don't fucking think so. I'm going to look at them when they do this process, and they're going to tell me, or they're going to tell their mom. Now, if they're telling their mom, man, at some point in time, I think that you would have started to wonder if you shouldn't do something. And why not? This is a child has an actual father. There is no reason at all to fight anyone and love them at the same time. We are mastering this in our family with Johnny and fucking Whopper. Oh, and they're both Johns. I don't get to be a John being Kelly and all. Now, permit me, world, all these messages, all I wanted to do was make some nice fucking animations. I get a whole hit piece played to me by my friends, or is it your friends' kids? The gangster ones. You're gonna be robbed. We're gonna rob you. Our control structure that we have allegiance to, the B system, you are not okay. They don't like you because you're not cool with them. They don't know why you're not cool with them. Oh, whoa. Well, nobody knows any of that because you say God said that, so Now, there's a strange truth to the rebounce effect of these questions in the realm. Now, I say dumb shit like energetic realm because then it causes all kinds of worry movement. It gets me a going on where I'm at in the move. And do you know I had this gun, which if it goes off in your hand and you shoot right at your front or rear door, like happened to me last night, it fucked me up. Now, I don't hold the gun normally in any period of time where it can align with me in its sights, especially with me behind the wheel. Now, it was an actual trying to feel you can wiggle this and you can wiggle this when they're both in play. And that's all it was to go, poof, not any damage, but I got this. I got this because I'm carrying this one time, just doing my underworld work. So, and I'm just saying, if these are deep traumas and tissues, America, fucking football, apple pie, why the fuck not? It's some of that for me as a person. I mean, but I don't, like I said, I don't feel the need to ownership, but I understand the game. This is my family, bub. Hey, buddy. I'm not going to do that to someone else that's actually done these things. I've failed a couple of attempts of trying to say something or do whatever, and you know, ultimately, I want the person I recognize as my soulmate to make the change. That's the point, because there's an abandonment that is done unto me. There's an abandonment that's done unto me, and I'm the person in question who is having a hard time trusting this person. So maybe there's some ironic circumstances in the circumstances as they are, but funny that. Now I think there's some outside, and I don't mean you outside. I mean there's some sort of beyond what humans are capable outside. Maybe that's elite for just someone I don't even know. I'll allow that though. I gotta figure that you have some sort of mind. You might think that this guy over here, he doesn't have any money. He doesn't. Nothing he's saying is important at all. Well, that's a valid position. It could be taken, and that's the basic moral fiber of America. 3% battery. Guy has 3% battery. You know, there was many hours today where I looked at the phone with 3%. It's plugged in. Oh yeah, it's plugged in all right. What is it doing? What is what is going on? Seriously. There's nothing I've downloaded that's fixed this in the fix your battery category. I don't know. I of course can lay out my suspect list because something is being done that's causing this. Now, I am rightly making some use because I always make use of targeting myself. And, well, mostly I was getting it from Snapchat because Snapchat, with all of their Bitticon emojis and not real personality profiles, if you could just add names of chicks that it just keeps giving you to add, well, I may have added a little too many. I'm not familiar with the app and I've already uninstalled it, so it doesn't look like our relationship is going very good as far as trust goes. Now, the funny thing about this stalking element that I experience, other than the fact that I make use of it, and I claim to have some sort of rights over even doing it to me because there would be no reason. This is with the higher self also co signing what I'm saying here. This is being done because it's an opportunity for pointing directions. You know, when you ad lib dialogue, you flow your consciousness out to explore what it says. What is it, the responses that it gives? There's a lot of questions answered. Questions that are going back and forth that are to the self, but the communication that is being done is under the watchful eye of God, who is number one, always present. Another chief concern that I have about my children is that I didn't get to transfer to them any sort of spiritual teachings, trainings, or something. If I had to guess who would be the major contributing um, element to what should be more unified in church, I got basic, just more hardcore targeting and more hardcore um, attempts to diffuse any sort of resolve almost always. You know, from that perspective, it is known and seen clearly that the self is automatically responding on its personal knowing of some of the rights and wrongs, or the goes and no goes towards a generalized direction on what one should take as their own momentum or going forward. I haven't set any goals other than the most immediate goal, which is to pay the rent, which could be easily done after, maybe the sale of the tractor, even. But it has to be done, and it has to be done fucking ASAP soon. Bear came to work on it. He's the one that's told me or planted the seed that I believe I can get at least 1,000 to 1,500 on the tractor.